Hey guys, Jess with People Wreaths. We are back to finish this wreath. Woohoo! I feel like we've been working on this one for a long time, but it's definitely paying off. I did like I didn't glue these in yet, but I kind of did like a little mock-up of where we're going to be putting our items on the top. We're going to be using these really pretty, they're painted, white painted pine cones. So we have those. We have these nice bells, these rustic functional bells. We have these matte holly berries. We have different types of fir, and they're not actually fir, but Douglas fir or balsam fir sprigs. We have some for the outside that have pine cones on them. Some have like long pine cones. Some have regular pine cones. Some are slightly sparkly. And then we have this one pine cone that we're going to put right here in the middle of our bow, right there, like that. So that's what we're doing. I planned a lot of this before I started filming so that I could make sure I had enough of everything, and I also planned out for a second one. I see this tail is slightly longer on the side, so let me just trim it up real quick. And that's that. So we are in the home stretch. We did it. We made it, guys. If you've been following along this entire time, thank you, thank you. I've been having my hot glue on over here. I have a Sure Bonder glue pot. It looks like this. It is well loved, well used, and ready for today's project. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing first, I'm going to take these. This came in a large bush from Hobby Lobby and from Michael's. If you're ever looking for really pretty pine and different realistic looking greenery, I would highly suggest buying it from Hobby Lobby or from Michael's. They sell it everywhere. It just kind of depends on what your the price range that you feel comfortable in, I guess. Because just like anything, unfortunately you pay, I guess unfortunately, fortunately, you get what you pay for. So that definitely has to do with wreath supplies too. When I first started making wreaths, I was used 6 years ago. Let me just note, I'm not doing that today. 6 years ago, I was using Dollar Tree materials. I thought they looked amazing at the time until I started to, I slowly started building up towards more expensive materials. I'm making sure that I'm putting this behind the ribbon bundle so that it doesn't cover up the details that we have, but it still gives that really pretty detail. Anyways, my first time buying materials that weren't from Dollar Tree, I bought stuff from Joann's, and it was just like a little step up, you know. It's just kind of like, I don't know about you, but when I first started making wreaths, I was not super confident in my wreath making abilities. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on something that I didn't know if it was going to look good, even though I think I was just kind of not giving myself enough credit. You know, we tend to underestimate ourselves probably more than others, but again, I'm putting this underneath the ribbon. I'm making sure I do that because it'll help it stay better. And anyways, I started buying materials at Joann's. I started realizing that the mesh and the ribbon was way higher quality than Dollar Tree, even though it wasn't really a whole lot more money anyways. And then after that, I started to buy things online at different wreath suppliers. There's this really nice website. It is called craftoutlet.com, and that's where I started buying my stuff next. And you just kind of learn as you go, you know, what type of items give you that quality that you're looking for. As you look at different wreath makers and feel inspired by what they're making, you can, you know, you kind of learn where they buy their items at, and you kind of think, okay, well, do I feel comfortable spending that? Some of it yes, some of it no, you know. So it's all kind of, it depends on what you feel comfortable with and the style you're going for, and even, you know, the price point that you're hoping to sell at. So it all has to go into that. There's a thought process behind it all. So just kind of building in my items here. We have 6 ties on the top, 2 of which are covered up by, sorry, I'm making sure that I don't mess up my stuff. 2 of which are covered up by the bow. So I did put 2 pine sprigs on the sides of the bow to help fill that out and fill out that space. And then I cut up 2 different bushes of greenery, and one has a flat pine cone and one had a regular pine cone, and it just helps give a little bit more dimension. I'm trying my best not to get hot glue all over my stuff because that's not really a good look. And there you go. All right, so we're done with the top. Now we're gonna go around. I have greenery that looks like this, and then I have ones that don't have any pine cones on them. So I'm gonna go around, actually before I forget, I'm gonna glue on my little baby pine cone. But I'm gonna go around the outside now and very carefully add in my greenery, making sure that I am putting a pine cone, and then the next one has no pine cone. And I'm gonna be putting holly berries in the ones that don't have a pine cone in them. So when you make wreaths, you kind of, the most important part is the design, of course, but you also want to make sure that you're keeping your price point in mind and how much you think that you can get for your wreath and how much you think your customer would feel comfortable paying. You don't want to make a wreath that you think is like extra beautiful, but then you won't have a customer for that, and then it'll just sit at your house, which, I mean, I guess isn't the worst thing if you don't mind decorating with your own stuff in your house. So I'm just sticking the greenery underneath, and then I'm putting the holly berry on top. And then I'm just gonna turn it here and then add in my next item. These are really pretty. They have a slight sparkle to them. I got those from Joann's last year, so unfortunately they're not available anymore. But I did try to stock up when I could. We're putting this underneath the ribbon, so be careful that you don't burn yourself when you're doing that, because you are taking a little bit of extra time. Let's be careful. We don't want any injuries, because hot glue is no joke. You could definitely get burned with hot glue. So I'm just lifting up the ribbons, sliding that in, and then I'm gonna put, again, those holly berries in the ones that don't have pine cones. So I'm trying to focus enough to keep that in mind, and then I'm just gonna stick that holly berry right in there. So this one had like a regular pine cone, so next I'm gonna put in ones with this flat pine cone in them. What's kind of interesting too is that these pieces of greenery, they melt a little bit when you put them in the hot glue pot. So it's important that you don't let that hot glue drip on your wreath. If you do get some by chance, oh, that doesn't go there. Let's just put it in the next one. If you do get some by chance on any of your ribbons, it's not a total loss necessarily. Just try to use a hair dryer once it dries, or you can try to get it while it's still wet. I guess you can kind of see which one works best for you. So I'm trying to move quickly to get that under there while it's still, and some of the ribbons might get a little bit bent, but we'll just go through and fix them. And I really like how it looks with all the different textures and the 2 different types of greenery bushes, because on each greenery bush they have like 3 or 4 different designs in there. So we got lots of different variation. We got the pine cones. It's also pretty. Okay, so now we're going through. We're gonna put one of these in there. I am using a generous amount of hot glue, and that's another reason the glue pots are helpful, because you can, instead of sitting there with your hot glue gun and just holding it down, you can just dip it right in that glue. And when it comes to greenery, you know, you can go with whatever type matches the look you're going for. You can always go with a frosted greenery for this one, because there are snow-covered berries, so that would be pretty too. So this is a regular pine cone, so I'm gonna use a flat pine cone this time. So I'm just really excited the way that this is looking. I think last year when I made this, I did not include greenery in there. I think I included a pine cone, if I remember correctly. I think I included a pine cone and a holly berry, but I think they were smaller holly berries than these, if I remember correctly. So I was trying to remember when I was, a moment ago, when I was preparing this, I was kind of adding it up, and not kind of, I was adding it up and figuring out, you know, what to charge for this wreath. And I was trying to remember, like, I don't think I added greenery in last year because it was a little bit of a lower cost last year for this wreath, but we're using higher quality materials now, and hopefully our customer will respect that and honor that. And when they see the wreath, they will say, yep, that's what it's called. That's what it's worth. I understand. So we shall see. That's what we can hope for, right? Here we go. Just sticking that in there, making sure it's nice and secure. Some of these greenery pieces are a little bit longer. I want to make sure our cardinals are still peeping through. Okay, we just have 2 more pieces. Let me see. I'm trying to mix it up with this. I think we have 2 pieces left. I think we have the one right above the bow that needs to be glued in. I don't remember if I did that or not. Alright, we're just lifting up the ribbon, and then we're going to put a holly berry piece in this one. And I think we're just about done. So this will be listed over in my Etsy shop a little bit later today at Cardinal Wreath. Okay, we have this last one with the, I'm trying to see if I forgot one, because I have 1 piece of greenery left, but it is possible that the greenery was sticking together when I put it in my container. Okay, so we put that there. Oh, I have to glue this one in right here. And I think we will be all done. When I go take my pictures, I'll be able to see if there was a piece that was left out. But yes, this glue pot is from a brand called Surebonder. And they make hot glue sticks and all the things. Not all the things, but they make hot glue sticks and hot glue guns and hot glue pots, obviously. So, all right, I think we're done. I think we are done. So this one measures, let's see, move my glue pot out of the way so it doesn't accidentally get tipped over. All right, so this one measures 27 inches across. That's a big one. Here we go. Fluff up that ribbon. And this will be ready for our customer store. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the journey, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.